My whole life, I always knew I was special. Even with no remainders, I could always move a decimal. Money on my mind while the girls that made un beso. Hustlers in my blood and it's running through my vessels. Just trying to clear the threshold, just trying to make a way. In my race against time, I could see an early grave. School to prison pipeline, 12 years a slave. Suspension and detention is conditioned for a cage.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our prediction for what some are dubbing the biggest fight in the history of women's boxing. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Who you got? We're going to start it off with Conspiracy.
Where's this fight located?
New York.
Not been MSG. From what I hear, they have a large Irish population. And
that's what I'm saying, man. I'm trying to
crazy.
Yo, you know what? This sounds like a sucker move, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a draw. I'm gonna predict a draw. Walk with me to walk. So listen,
5-5.
Nah, and this is why. You already know we're talking about women boxing. It's 2-minute rounds.
It's gonna be 10 rounds. That's what you.
No, listen, man. Listen, I'm telling you, it's gonna be too tough to score. Like Katie kind of reminds me of like the female Pacquiao, right? Moves forward while throwing punches while moving forward. Like, that's great. But Amanda, the one thing I do like about her style is she is sound defensively and she can plant her feet and stay there. So I need to see how Katie does against a person like that. You know, and I feel like Amanda is gonna land a lot of counterattacks, like a lot of counter hooks to Katie. But I do feel that Katie's gonna land a lot of moving forward ones and twos onto Amanda. So yeah, I don't know how to call it, man. That's why it's tough. So I think it's gonna be based upon the judges. And so that's why I need to know where this fight gonna be located. If it's the UK, I would have said Katie. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know, man. Like, New York is a little different too. But if it was on the West Coast, my money would have been on Amanda. So I think New York is kind of like a neutral place for the UK and the Latino supporters. So I'm going down the line. It's going to be a draw. Then they're going to set up a part 2.
G, you've done a lot of despicable things.
First heavyweight. Somebody, G. Pick somebody.
But now you're calling
if I gotta pick
on the biggest fight in women.
Fine.
How you gonna give a trill answer? How you gonna give a trill answer?
All right, that's
beyond trill.
I'm giving a trill answer, but if
that's beyond trill,
then I'm picking Amanda to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm picking Amanda over Katie. Y'all happy?
All right. Trill dollar bill.
I know this is gonna sound wild. If the timing is everything, and I think now with the timing of this fight, I think now this is probably a passing of the torch moment. So I'm going for Katie. I think Katie, just the extra energy, the extra burst. I think at the age, Katie got it.
Here I am, ready to make a prediction, unlike Conspiracy.
Yo, I told you, Amanda. You know what I'm saying?
You were shamed into making a prediction. I think we all know this. Like, and I'll start off by saying this. This is a fight that's very difficult to make a decision with. We all know this is a pick'em fight. We all know this fight can go either way. And we're really intrigued to see what happens because we know that Katie Taylor brings phenomenal skills and ability to the ring, but we also know the same about Amanda Serrano. I think the excitement about this fight is this is probably the first fight where we're going to see two women have the type of ability that we typically see in elite fighting on the men's side. And I think that's what's the intrigue for this fight. And I really hope that this fight lives up to the hype and the billing, because I think it can be a huge step forward for the women's boxing and for the sport, especially with the other big fights on the horizon like Savannah Marshall, and Clarissa Shields, Alicia Baumgartner, Michaela Mayer. Those are like great fights, and the women's sport is really starting to get the characters that they can push forward to make big fights. But it starts with this one right here. When I look at the fights and what I've seen, to me, it looks like Katie Taylor has been regressing. And Irish boxing, bro, forgive me, I gotta call it like it is. I love Katie Taylor, and these guys are my witness. We were at the fight when Katie Taylor fought Amanda Serrano's sister. I always forget her name, but she fought Amanda Serrano's sister, and they were playing the Puerto Rican national anthem, and G and everyone was looking at me like, "Oh, you're not gonna stand up."
Yeah, I was like, "Yo, you not gonna stand up, bro?"
I was like, I know when they
know
shipped in food.
When we
You know what? I wasn't even thinking. I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about something else when I said about the age and the thing, because I realized that I was thinking about something else. So excuse me. I know everybody's gonna be in the conversation like, "Yo, Trill, Katie's older than Amanda." So I just wanted to correct that. I was thinking about something totally else, something else. But go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. So when that fight happened, I picked Katie. I knew Katie was gonna win. They were like trying to I'm like, nah, man. They brought in food for Katie Taylor, man. I ain't sitting here. Y'all ain't gonna get me hyped up on this. And it was. She beat her easy. But this is a different Serrano. This is a Serrano who I feel like really understands and really takes advantage. I feel like has great punch placement, great punch selection. I feel like has the motor, and I'm questioning Katie's motor as well. Katie's been looking like tired down the stretch of fights. So, I'm just going to call it like all I know how to be is real. And I know people can say that I have bias because, Amanda's from America and that I'm half Puerto Rican and Amanda Serrano's Puerto Rican. But the truth of the matter is I don't let any of that determine how I pick fights. I don't root for someone just because they're from America or because they're from America or we have the same background. I visualize what I've seen, what I know, and just what I think. And based on what I've seen, Katie Taylor has seen better days. She's not the same. Remember, Delphine Persoon gave her two the toughest fights she's ever seen. And I think that Amanda Serrano could not only match that output if she needed to, but I think she can do it with better punch placement and better boxing ability. And I think that Amanda Serrano is also at this particular point in time the fresher fighter. And I think that she will be able to last longer. And Katie Taylor has been fading. So what I'm about to say may shock a lot of people, but I think that Amanda Serrano is going to beat Katie Taylor in a landslide. I think it's going to be like 7-3 for Amanda Serrano. And I think people are going to be shocked that Katie got outclassed the way she did. But I just don't think she's the same Katie Taylor she was a few years ago. Now, this was Katie Taylor a few years ago. We may be talking about a different prediction. But just based on what I've seen, I think Katie's going to get outclassed. That's just what I think. So I got Amanda by a landslide.
That's dope. That's dope. All right, let us know how you feel.
Yeah, I'm just saying what I think. You know what I mean?
No. You ain't wrong.
Hey, I don't always predict it on the money like I did with Fury. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, this is a pick 'em fight. This is a tough fight. You know what I'm saying? Like you said a lot. You made a lot of key points, and they had me thinking like, yeah, you're totally right. Then I'm looking at opposition. I'm looking like, Katie's opposition may have been a little tough. I don't know, but we won't know until these ladies get in there.
Katie had a better opposition. She did.
Yeah, it's really a pick 'em fight. It really is a pick 'em fight. So let you in the comment section, please let us know who you're rooting for. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. It's 50-50. Who you got? We the Boxing Bros.